What's up, guys? Mindless again. Just want to take a quick sec and show off another piece of my collection. You probably saw this piece in the last video of my post-blade scores and thoughts. And to be honest with you, this is one of the pieces that I actually traveled to Blade for. Those who know me know that I'm a huge fan of Tashi Bharucha as a designer. And a lot of people don't realize that he actually is a maker as well. Although he doesn't make knives as often as his fans would hope, nevertheless, he still makes knives. And he does so at an extremely high level. They're in high demand. He's made friction folders, flippers, tactical folders. And cool part there is that it seems as though he holds his own personal designs that he's going to make for himself, and designs knives that work with other makers when he decides to do a collaboration. So if you're looking for Tashi design, characteristics, the argument could be made that his own personal knives that he makes are the purest form of his design language. So the piece you're looking at in front of us right now is called the Church. This is a model that he made for Blade along with another two. And this is the piece that I actually really wanted. What you're looking at is about a 3.5-inch cutting edge. If you go from the pivot forward, it's a 4-inch blade. Overall length is about 8 inches, so it's a good size knife. Very, very highly contoured. Feels great in the hand. Nice, thick blade stock, rounded spine. It is a thumb hole opener. It's not a flipper. Wicked, wicked pocket clip. You can see it right there. Let's see if we can focus a little bit. There you go. And little story with this piece is he did a lottery where he pulled names from a hat for the lucky people that get a chance to buy the blades. And there was one open bid piece. And the way I looked at it was, I'm going to try for the lotteries, but if it's looking like I'm not going to get one, I'm going to go for the open bid so I don't leave empty-handed. It was really important to me to get one of Tashi's pieces, and more importantly, meet him, introduce myself to him, and kind of have a chat with him about my thoughts about his design and see how far off the mark I was in my thoughts. Guys, this is a wicked knife. I mean, just look at it. It has that typical Tashi design, the higher handle with the dropped blade, easy for cutting, kind of protects your knuckles. The package came with a leather sheath, beautifully done, very soft with his maker's mark on it. It also came with a dog tag, and instead of just doing like a certificate of authenticity, he did it like this, and it's on black aluminum, I think, the name of the blade and the material, the main material. So it says Zirconium, and what made this piece special, and it was the only one like this, I think that's why it was the open bid, is the show side scale. This entire piece is solid zirconium, and you might be able to see the color difference where it's darker here, then it switches to a darkened titanium, and then the pocket clip as well is done in zirconium. And when I saw this, I was absolutely blown away. You hear stories of zirconium being difficult to work with, and it's a fire hazard, and those things are all true. So to be able to cut out these windows, cleanly achieve this great finish, it's kind of like a bead blasted matte finish. It's not that high polish fingerprint style zirconium, is something amazing. If you take a look at the lines of the knife, it's freaking badass. The first thing you notice is like this kind of half finger choil that comes down right here, perfectly mating to the frame. You get that 2-finger choil that's kind of really, really evident in a lot of Tashi design pieces. You'll see it in the Immortal Pups. You see it in a lot of the other pieces that designers have worked with him. If you look at the, I think the Pup is probably the most obvious one where it has that front 2-finger choil. And what happens is when you're holding it, you're kind of reaching forward with the knife, and it gives you that like a pointed kind of angle of attack, which in real life, if you're EDCing this, that's what you're doing most of the time. You're doing like pull cuts and slice cuts. It's perfect for that. If you're going for like a fighting stance, or you need reach, this is the way you would actually hold a knife. From all angles, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect piece. In the closed position, you really see the design carried on. Check out the thumb hole, which mates perfectly and smoothly with the frame. The cutting edge rests perfectly inside the bottom of these windows. And then you have an empty space, like a void in these two windows, basically, where the back spacer, which is perfectly contoured and smooth, you cannot feel anything. It almost looks like an integral. It's not just a bar, it's actually a bar that's been hollowed out in here, so it runs along the inside edge. You cannot see the blade through here, it's blocked off. The thumb hole, you know, you want it as low as possible for kind of an angle, and he does it perfectly while still delivering something that's pretty badass looking. Blade is done in 154 and a hand rub satin that looks phenomenal, perfectly executed. I mean, all around, guys, this is a beautiful knife. I think it embodies Tashi's design language very well. I did a video a while back on the Legacy, the piece from Bob Terzola in collaboration with Tashi, and I kind of go over a little bit more about Tashi the man. A lot of people don't realize that he's not just a knife maker. Although he's a brilliant knife maker, he actually is a brilliant creative designer. He's a creative director for a very large corporation right now in Paris. He's got his hands in advertising. He's got his hands in music production. He even himself is a music artist. And these are all things that he never talks about within the knife community. But all those things kind of come together to form the personality that can design something like this. And I'm feeling it. This design language works for me, and I know a lot of other people. Anytime Tashi does a collaboration, and you see that maker's mark on any blade, it's pretty much a home run and a badass blade, straight up. I'm sorry about bumping that. So a little bit of story about how I got this. I get to Blade Friday, and you know, right away I go over to a couple buddies. I go to some friends, and I immediately start walking over to Tashi's table, and I want to meet him because I've never actually met him in person. And while he's speaking with a couple people, I'm kind of just hanging back, checking out the knives. He actually sees my name and says, "Hey, Mark, it's good to meet you." And I'm just completely floored. Like, how does this guy even know who I am? And he tells me, you know, I've watched your videos and I brought something for you from France. And I'm just like, what? You know, like, what the hell? And I mean, obviously I know it's not a knife, guys, but he reaches in his bag and he pulls out two CDs. And they're basically the two albums that he is the artist on that he had done back a while ago. And he knows I'm a big fan of hip hop, as is he. And he asked me, you know, take a listen and tell me what you think. And I am just absolutely floored. So for the next 20, 30 minutes, I had a chance to chat with him, kind of explain, you know, how my, what pieces I own, of collaboration pieces I own, which pieces I've handled. And I think he realized that I am a big fan of his work, and that I was definitely going home with one of these three pieces that he prepared for Blade. You know, right away I put my names into the lottery, and it didn't happen. It just, he would pull the names, it wasn't there. And finally on Saturday, the last day he was showing, I walk up and the last piece, a lottery piece, has been drawn, and the person hasn't come to grab the knife. So Tashi tells me, hey, you know, if they don't show up in an hour, it's yours. So I'm kind of hanging around, and at this time, keep in mind, I'm running around to other open bids that are closing at that same time. It seemed like everybody was closing their bids up around 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon at Blade. So I cruise back every like 10, 15 minutes. Come on, focus. Yeah, to see have they picked it up? Is the blade available? And right around 3:45, 3:50, he says, Mark, they came and picked it up, and all that's left is this open bid. So at that point, I decide, you know what, I'm going for it. I'm going for this open bid. So I place a bid down, and now I'm just hanging around waiting to see who comes up. And this is a badass knife. You know people are going to want it. The bids begin, and I really don't care. I'm taking this knife down. It's coming home with me. So I keep going. I keep bidding, and ultimately my high bid is the one that takes it. I'm freaking overjoyed. Tashi's stoked that it's going to somebody who actually is a big fan, who's been collecting his pieces, and I got it. And I'm absolutely stoked. That's why I wanted to show it to you first of all the pieces I got from Blade. Just a killer piece. I mean, really, I'm speechless. It's more of an art piece than a tactical user. The craftsmanship is really, really second to none. Take a look at the lockup. Super early, super secure. There's no movement in any direction. Absolutely beautiful. The hardware is done. These screws are done beautifully. It's just a great piece. Centering is dead on, and the action is amazing. When people handle this, it feels like glass, like a heavy, imagine like you're working with a very heavy Sebenza, very smooth feeling knife, but it can be flicked, and I'm sure as it breaks in, it'll get smoother and smoother. Just an absolute beautiful piece. Beautiful. And, okay, pocket clip. A lot of people were talking crap about this clip. I could tell you from personal experience, I've been carrying it for since Blade, I've carried about 3 days. It works perfect. There's not an issue at all. I actually like it because it's very understated. You just see this little tiny thing sticking out of the side of your pocket, and I like it a lot, actually. I think designers should go to this length. It also is cleaner for the knife. You see a lock bar. It allows more space for artistry, and it works well. It works very well. So, a couple things I wanted to say on this video too. After Blade, I picked up so many more subscribers, and there's a couple people I need to thank for that. First is Jeff Tough Thumbs. He shouted my channel out on my Instagram, and I really appreciate it, brother. It blew up. Secondly is Tashi. Tashi actually, when he returned to France, shouted out on Instagram, and it sent a lot of people my way. Next is a guy, Josh, goes by Blades and Babes on Instagram. Frucci, one of the Wieners and Steel Lee. I appreciate it, brother. The Wieners and Steel crew, they also shouted me out, and just huge support from the knife community, I'm super appreciative of that. So thanks, guys. For everybody else, I'm going to put a link to everybody that I just mentioned in the comment section, so you can, if you're not following them, and I'm sure you are, most of them, make sure to give them a like and a follow, because it's kind of what motivated me to start sharing my collection on video. I was mainly an Instagram only guy, and recently I started doing this on video. So getting a lot of questions too about what pieces, or how do I choose the pieces that I'm going to do videos on. And because those who know me know I have quite an extensive collection. And really the answer is I'm going to try to show pieces that are a little rarer, stuff that you don't see on other videos, highly collectible stuff. There's tons of guys doing videos on pieces that you could pick up easily. I'm going to try to do the pieces that are a little tougher to get, or were a struggle for me to get personally, and kind of share the story of how I scored them. Whether it's through a dealer, an auction, the Cove, other collectors, however I got it, I'll share that with you, and hopefully share a little bit more information about the makers. So it's kind of a spotlight on a maker and a piece, and that's kind of what's going to guide me on which knives make it on video or not. If I'm off track and I'm way off the reservation and you don't want that, let me know. You know, put something in the comment section, and we can tailor it. I'm not like stuck in my ways. I'm basically just a knife nut just like you guys, and I just dig talking about knives and dig showing off these pieces to people that appreciate high quality tactical folders. So again, thanks to everybody for all the support. It was great meeting everybody at Blade, and the links below for other people that you should follow on Instagram and on YouTube. If you have any questions, guys, regarding this knife or any other pieces that I've shown, please don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. I actually do try to answer every comment or reply. If you give me a follow on Instagram too, you'll see a lot of pieces. Just let me know if you want a video on one of those pieces. I usually try to shoot a photo or a short video of a piece that I'm carrying every day of the week. And if there's something you want to see, just let me know, fellas. Again, thanks for stopping in. This is the Church, the open bid piece from Blade 2015 from Tashi Bharucha. Zirconium scale, zirconium clip. There you go. Thanks for stopping in. Take it easy.